Welcome back to the club. I am one of your hosts, Callie Hart, and I am joined by a girl who, God willing, will be in my house a week from today, Miss Ashy G. Ash, how are you doing? How have things been going?
God willing, I'm just so ready to be to your house. Things are going
Yeah.
great. I've been great. I do have a toddler who someone whispered in her ear, "Hey, you're turning 2. It's time to start like driving your parents nuts." But we are rolling with the punches. We're gonna get her on a plane into Aunt Katie's ASAP so that someone else can deal with her.
Love that.
And yeah, I'm just like excited for holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy everything. Kwanzaa. Like this is my favorite time of the year. I was so close to wearing my Christmas PJs and a Santa hat today, but I decided
Mm.
that actually decided too late to like involve Katie in the planning. So it'd be really crazy if she showed up in a black sweater and I was decked out. So I did go with a green
Yeah, you're
a,
so
a green
festive.
shirt to celebrate. And you know, you might be on YouTube thinking that we look particularly gorgeous today. And we were just talking
Yeah.
about we both got haircuts this week.
We did. We're so simpatico. Like, I think you said, like, I have a haircut today at noon. And I was like, my husband has a haircut at noon. And then 2 days from now, I have a haircut at noon. It was really
So
weird the way it all
crazy.
happened. So, yeah, we're just like a couple of fresh
Kismet.
queens. Yeah, it was
We're
completely
so
kismet.
fresh.
Yes.
How have you
So,
been? What's the 411 on the Hoyt household?
oh man, I have had such a busy and fulfilling week. My sister-in-law had her baby, and so I'm like anti status
Oh
yet
my
again.
God.
It has been so much fun. So it's always just crazy when someone's like at the hospital about to have the baby and you're just like constantly checking your phone trying
It's
to.
antsy kinda.
Yes, and it's like all day. She went in for an induction, so we like knew this wasn't spontaneous, and it's just like you wake up that morning and it's like Christmas morning. Like, what time is she going to have
When
the
is she gonna
baby?
be here?
Yes,
Oh, sorry, he,
he.
baby boy.
Yes, so baby boy joined us on December 9th. And he was a chunker, 8 pounds, 12 ounces. Y'all pray for her. She ended up having to have a C-section. And yeah,
I
so
think it
all.
was what God intended for Emily's pelvic bones. Katie's sister-in-law is particularly small, so
Yes.
I don't know that a 9 pounder was really just gonna slip right through.
Yeah. So it all worked out as it was meant to, and he's here, and he's happy, and he's healthy, and he's doing well. She's doing well. I think that the sleep is a little touch and go for them, but
Yeah,
overall, I
it's
mean,
week 1.
that's
They'll figure it out.
exactly that's to be expected. So everything's going well. We've gone to see them multiple times, and yeah, they're just great. I could literally just hold him and like, it's just I get really bad cute aggression, so I just want to put his entire face in my mouth. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, that's yeah, I didn't really ever know, like, why people had to say, like, "Don't kiss newborns, don't kiss newborns." I'm like, "Who's fucking kissing people's babies?" And then I had one and I was like, "Oh, oh."
Yes.
This is crazy. I really do want to just like put her whole face inside of my oral cavity. Like I would
Yes.
that would be my preferred method of just like engaging with her. So I get
Yes.
it, especially if it's and this is like their the first grandbaby on the Hoyt side. So I'm
Mhm.
sure everyone feels that way.
Yes. No, it's been really special. It's just like they didn't sleep at all the first night, and then people wanted to come up there and of course meet the baby, which is like so understandable. But at some point that afternoon they had to say like, hey guys, we're not doing visitors, we haven't slept in 2 days, and we just
Please
like,
give us a break.
yeah, we just need a minute. So everything's great, they're home now. We went and saw him yesterday, and I just like, oh, like he's so cute and small, and like his little noises that he makes are just precious. So, and I love babies. So, it's been a great week for us.
I'm so happy for y'all. Let's talk about how um your husband is number one perpetrator of person you have to ask to leave the home.
To leave their home?
Their home. He said he wanted to
Yes.
spend all day there.
Oh my gosh, yes. He was like, "Let's go visit." And I said, "Okay, like what's our plan? What time are you guys planning to come back, because I needed to know, do I need to drive separately?" And we were going over there at like noon, and he was like, I was thinking we would leave. They were having like a Christmas parade in the city that they live in at 5 o'clock. He was like, I think we'll leave like just right before the parade starts. And I was like, no, you don't go visit new parents for 5 hours. That's not the way that it works. But my
Very, very
husband,
cute that he wants to, though.
yes, very cute. But my husband and his family have some boundary issues when it comes to like overstaying a welcome or inviting yourself to someone else's home, or just showing up unannounced. So that's been a real learning curve. He has told me that I'm being too crazy about people visiting their house, but I'm trying to look out for him. I've had friends who've had babies, and
Yeah, they don't want to have to be the ones to tell him. At least you're trying your
exactly.
best.
I'm fighting for my life, just so
Yeah,
everyone
I'm
is
sure.
clear.
I'm sure you are. Yeah.
So
Those are tough
yeah,
battles.
it is. But that's pretty much all on my end. Other than that, we have literally not been doing anything. I have been so busy with work and baby and stuff like that that we just haven't really left the house or done anything fun. What about you guys?
Honestly, good for you. We've kind of been the opposite. We've been doing all of the Christmas festivities. I think last time we talked, we had just wrapped up finishing like Halloween
Yeah.
festivities. So it just like really went right one into the other. Um, but we did, what did we do? So we've gone to the zoo lights, we've gone to the zoo, and the aquarium has a big light show. And then last night we went to this big neighborhood party. Um, One of our neighbors has a massive house and like just a massive hosting space, and
Mm.
they invited literally everyone in the neighborhood that has toddlers. And so there was like 20 toddlers there just running amok. It was amazing. Um, and then we've started gymnastics since we last spoke. So we've been
Mhm.
doing gymnastics on Friday. She'll be changing to Saturdays in January. But let me tell you, there's really not a more fun thing to do than go watch your kid be dumb on like a gymnastics mat and a
Uh-huh.
trampoline. It is the funniest thing. Like Jake and I look forward to it so much because we're gonna be laughing the entire time.
Yes, no, 100%. And like one thing about Susanna, Ashlyn sent me a video last night, literally the funniest video that I've seen in weeks of Susanna like trying to jump on. I guess it was like a bounce house. And
Trampoline, yeah.
oh, okay, trampoline, and it's got like the zipper, and you think like, who needs to zip the zipper? Like you already have the net. It's
No,
fine.
no. Oh wait, let me back up. I tried to zip it, but the net was too tight, so the zipper like wouldn't go down. Because I know her.
Okay, well, homegirl somehow found a way to go flying out of the zipper part of the net, and
Yes. And I was videoing. So she flew face first through the opening, the not very like a narrow opening in the net into face first my phone. And so she did end up falling down, but her feet stayed in the trampoline.
uh,
So she was it was a mess. But I think what hurt her the worst was like she hit my phone so fast. And then I like kind of like lowered her sort of to the ground and she was pissed. But um yeah, she was having literally the best time. There was like like a wooden rocking horse outside, and she got on and was just like fucking throwing herself forward and backward, like flipped over forwards, flipped off backwards.
oh
Everyone's like,
well,
she's just full sins.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, she's kind of like a bull in a china shop, that one.
She's kind of like her father's daughter. It's giving.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, and
So
even your videos, like when you guys go to the gym, and she's just like walking on shit and like doing whatever. She's just kind of it's just vibes for her.
yeah, she just goes for it. That's why gymnastics day one for us was so fun because we took her in and we're like, we don't know if she's going to be shy or like not know what to do. She took off running straight for like the trampoline, the ball pit, or whatever it's called, the foam pit,
Uh-huh.
like all of the equipment. She was not scared of it. She just like wanted to climb all over everything. And so it's really funny because she does fall. Like that's like my favorite comedy is like children falling.
Yeah.
And so that's really fun for me. And then also she is like, they're trying to teach them skills like walking on the beam and doing front rolls and stuff. And so it's
Mhm.
really, really quality entertainment.
Yeah, I can imagine having a class of, I'm assuming like two, maybe 2 to 3
2 to
year
3 is
olds.
the age. Yeah.
Is strictly herding cats. I can't imagine that there's a lot of like organization. It's mostly
Not much
just,
structure.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I love all of your videos from gymnastics. She is literally the cutest thing. I'm just like praying when she gets to my house that she'll like play with me, like talk to me, because she's
Yeah, she
so
will.
fucking funny, and I just like want to hear her talk and hear what like pops into her little head, and just I
I
can't wait
know
to
she
see
is.
her.
Yeah, she's a little shy still, but she will warm up. I think we'll be there long enough for her to like
Yes.
figure it out. But speaking of 2-year-olds, she's gonna be two in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, she'll be 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's talk about how she was just born. Like
No, like
what?
let's talk about how she was just born and you used to live here. I was literally thinking about
I
it
know.
earlier. Like, I would love to just wake up on a Saturday and like go get breakfast with Susanna, but I can't do that
I
because
know.
you decided, and I encouraged you to move literally across the country, which is really crazy.
I know. Why were we thinking that was
I,
like a solid plan?
I think we were just like, oh, this is something new and I can come visit. And meanwhile, you've been there a year and a half and I've been once. So it's
I
just
know it's
an
hard.
issue.
It's also
Yeah,
fucking expensive. Every time we go home, it's like $1,000 plus. Don't get me
literally.
started on the holiday prices.
Girl.
So yeah, we were a little bit naive to how often we'd be able to go home.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we will be taking her 2-year-old pictures in Katie's living room. Last year, we did sort of like a heirloom style white backdrop, white outfit, some white and pink balloons. But this year, we're going floral. We're going purple. We're going anti-Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, me too. I cannot wait to see you guys. And we've already been planning like what we're going to have on the menu that day, what all we're going to do. Yeah, it's going to be a
Boy
great
is
day.
planning quite the brunch. He even like
Yes.
ordered some new china. He got a French press. He's like really, going to the
Yeah,
nines.
yeah, 100%. So, anything else that you wanted to share? I've got a little bit of book
No.
content for us to discuss. Okay. So, now if you guys were here for last month's episode, you might recall I had taken a Unisom the night before. The brain was not functioning well. And so I cannot remember. I know that we talked about Ballad of Falling Dragons, book 2 of When the Moon Hatched, but I can't remember if you said what the like the what's it called, release date was. Um,
I think it was a release date or a release month because it was in
okay,
April.
okay. So I saw recently that this must have been on Thanksgiving. Um, which, by the way, I think she's Australian, so that makes sense why she would just like post something randomly on Thanksgiving with
Right.
no like regard to the fact that people aren't doing that day. But the date is now May 19th, so we've still got a
Okay.
little while. But I do believe that that's like confirmed date, because in the caption she said something like it's been backed up just a bit to May 19th. So as of today, that is the release date. We look forward to that. That'll probably end up being our book for June. So keep that on your radar. Um, the next piece of content that I wanted to discuss is I saw a TikTok a couple weeks ago of this girl saying that there's apparently a bookstore in Germany that's like the equivalent of Barnes and Noble. I think it's called Talia or something like that.
Yes, I
And
saw this TikTok. I think you sent it to
okay,
me.
okay. And apparently they are like notorious for announcing books before they have actually been announced. And so they posted, um, I guess like coming soon or to their catalog or whatever, untitled Sarah J. Mass coming in 2026. Apparently there were screenshots of it. They then went back and deleted that and relisted it as untitled Bloomsbury for
Hmm.
2026.
But no
So
month, apparently.
yep, no month, just 2026. I imagine since we haven't heard anything, I'm thinking we're looking at least summer, if not fall,
October.
winter. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I can wait. I would have waited longer for her other books. I'm fine. I think
Mhm.
the problem is a lot of us found these books when she was writing A Court of Silver Flames.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, even some people didn't start reading it until that one came out, so you just got so used to mass,
Yes,
what's it
consumption.
consumption of
Yes.
the books, and so now we're just sitting around waiting, but we forget, like, this it needs to be right.
Mm-hmm.
So, no reason to rush it. I'm gonna let her do her thing. I feel the same way about Sarah Parker and The Ballad of Falling Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
I do keep getting, like, the cover art all over my, Facebook and Instagram, and I'm like, I'm ready, but also, like, if this is bad, it's going to ruin my year.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Especially if you've already backed it up so that you could quote
Mhm.
get it right, and then
Yeah.
if it still sucks after that, like big yikes. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that. And then the last thing is if you listen to our episode last month, Ashlyn and I both decided that we would be reading The Housemaid in preparation for the movie to come out, which comes out this week. Um, I think it's like the 19th. But I thought maybe we could do just like a very brief, not spoilery kind
Yeah.
of recap on our thoughts, especially because it's a thriller, which like we've both read thrillers, but it's really not our primary genre or genre of choice. So just thought we could do like a quick little like what were your thoughts?
I loved it. I think I read it in, like, less than 72 hours because I couldn't,
Yes.
like, put it down. It was so, um it was kind of it was fast, but it wasn't like what's the word? Like, you know how in fantasy it's like, "Oh my god, thing after thing after thing is happening?" It's
Mhm.
more just like the anticipation of something
Yeah.
happening. Um, I had a wonderful, wonderful time. I literally would rate it 5 stars.
Okay. That's interesting. It's always weird for me and I feel like it's not fair to rate a book in a genre that you are not like like a huge
I'm not super familiar with that
yes.
genre, yeah.
Yes. So I don't really know. I also really enjoyed it. I felt like it was a little choppy in the way it was just like, here's one instance that happened. Next chapter, a couple of days later, here's another instance that happened. But I don't know if that's like par for the course with thrillers. So I'm not going to sit here and say like that was
Yeah.
neither here nor there. But I really liked it. I think that the movie is going to be really good. But like we both watched the trailer, it was so spooky. And I think that what I was picturing was just way different than what the trailer looked like. So it'll be interesting to see.
I
Like,
agree. Yeah,
okay.
I really agree with that, especially, like, what the characters looked like and what the house looked like, because
Mm-hmm.
as with the other thriller that we've both read, it kind of all takes place in one setting. There's not
Yeah.
really a bunch of different cities or a bunch of different places. It's really just one, like, month of events. So,
Yes.
um, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to get it exactly right for everybody, but I think it's gonna be really a really good movie.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm really excited to see it. But yeah, I thought the book was good. We're not the experts on thrillers, so I'm sure there's someone
Yeah,
here
but Frida
listening.
McFadden is, like, one of those thriller writers that, like, everyone reads her stuff, you
Yep.
know? So I
Yep.
don't think that we're, like, necessarily perceiving it incorrectly
I
just
think
by
so
having a good
too.
time, you know?
Yes, and I think that there's probably thriller connoisseurs listening to this episode and being like the two dumb bitches that don't
You
know what
think
they're
thriller
talking
connoisseurs
about.
are listening to The Club?
Per- Perchance they could be.
They could
Maybe
be.
to this episode specifically, just because Quicksilver was such like a big book and
Yeah.
this is going to be book 2. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I'm glad that I read it, especially because now I know the lore. And like one thing about me is I'm going to get FOMO if everybody knows something about a book that I don't know and it's like
Mhm.
in the zeitgeist. Especially
Yeah.
if like Sydney Sweeney is the main character in the film adaptation, I'm gonna feel left out. So I'm happy to just be in the loop now.
Me too. And, like, one of my biggest regrets in life is not reading Gone Girl before I saw the movie because I didn't know what it was about, but it was, like,
Mm-hmm.
the movie of the moment, and then I was like, "That is the best movie I've ever seen. Why would I not read the book first? Why did I do this to
Mm-hmm.
myself?" And I can't go back and read it now because I've watched it 100 times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Now
anyway,
you only know
um,
the movie version of the story.
yeah, I don't yeah. So, I'm just happy that we got this done. We got 2 books read in 1 month. That's crazy for me.
Yes, no, so crazy.
And
And
barely. I
like,
finished, Brimstone about, like, 12:05 last night.
yeah, no, really crazy, especially because I was like, we just casually discussed it on the podcast. Like, should we read The Housemaid? Yeah, it literally 2 days later, Ashlyn was like, I'm almost finished with the book. I couldn't go to sleep last night because I stayed up reading. And I was like, where's this energy for the club books? But okay, but I get it. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
definitely addicting. So anyway, that's all that I have for catch up book news. Did you have anything else to discuss before we jump into this month's book?
No, I'm feeling pretty well recapped.
Okay.
Happy to dive in if you wanna do the, author biography.
Okay. So the book that we are here to discuss today is Brimstone by Callie Hart, which is book 2 of the Quicksilver. I think it's called like Fae and Alchemy series. So our author biography, Callie Hart is an obsessive romantic who loves throwing a dark twist into her stories. Her characters are imperfect, flawed individuals who dictate when she eats, sleeps, and breathes. A British expat now living in California, Callie can most likely be found sequestered away in the corner of a library, fantasizing about exciting new realms and the brooding anti heroes who occupy them. So, there you have it.
Great.
Straightforward.
Perfect. I'm glad they said that she was British. I forgot about that.
No, same.
Because in the book synopsis, we have an honor, Honour. So I was like, you're either Canadian or British. But
Mm-mm.
also, there was honor in the book a lot, and it was spelled the normal English, like American English way. So
Oh,
I'm just wondering how I got missed here.
okay.
Um, okay, so here's the book synopsis: duty, blood, honor, power. Sarah's Fane doesn't want power. The very last thing she needs is her name whispered on an entire court's lips. But now that she's been crowned Queen of the Blood Court, she's discovering that a queen's life is not her own. A heavy weight rests upon her shoulders. Her ward and her brother need her back in her homeland, but the changes that have strengthened Saris have also made her weak. Born under blazing suns, Saris will surely die if she makes her way home through the Quicksilver, which means that, once again, she must send someone else in her stead. Keep your mouth shut, stick to the shadows, and for the love of all 7 gods, do not crack any jokes. Kingfisher of the Asian Gate has defeated armies and survived all manner of horrors, but traveling back to Silverin with Carrion Swift might just be the death of him. The male will just not shut up. Hidden dangers await them down the narrow alleyways of the Silver City. Unfolding secrets pose impossible threats. Fisher must wrangle the smuggler and accomplish his goals quickly if he wants to see his mate again. A darkness falls across Avelia. The realm and their friends are in danger. Together, Saris and Fisher will pass through fire and brimstone to save them.
Okay. Um,
Disjointed,
this is what I
definitely.
want to say. First of all, I did audiobook 98% of this book. So that said, this might not be the general consensus. I felt like the part where Carrion and Fisher go to Zolvarin was like a
Short.
moment in time. Why is the entire synopsis
I
acting
don't know.
like,
It was like it was maximum 30% of their story.
yeah, that's
I just feel
really
like
weird.
you use the book synopsis to tell the overarching theme. Like the last sentence about the fucking darkness across Avelia is
Right.
really the overarching theme, not really them going to get Hayden.
No, I'm really confused by this. That said, we're always like critical of the synopses that they give too much away. This definitely didn't give too much away because that's not what this book is about. So,
Yeah, no, totally agree. Yeah, that's a kind of a crazy synopsis. Um,
yeah.
yeah, so I don't really have anything else. So for overall thoughts and general discussion, I just want to say something here. So I did not reread Quicksilver. I watched one TikTok, maybe two, talking about what happened because I had
Mhm.
genuinely no idea. And my whole thought process was like, I'll just listen back to our episode from Quicksilver, and then I can remember like what I thought, what Katie said, and I can like really, go from there. I didn't make it through our character lineup because the plane is still flying. Like, we could not drive a point home on that episode to save our lives. And I think the reason why is because we recorded that before we ever started doing our overall thoughts and general discussion of the book at the beginning.
Okay.
And so we were kind of weaving that into our characters.
Okay.
And because I didn't remember what happened, I was like, what the fuck am I talking about?
Okay. That's
So thank God we changed
the format. Oh my God, yes.
our format.
Yes. That is literally so funny, but I'm not surprised. Like, I just feel like for myself personally, it is difficult for me to make any kind of point ever. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah. So I did split up my overall thoughts into plot, romance, and writing. I just think that's the easiest way for me to like
Yep.
say everything I'm thinking. If you have it differently, then we can just kind of.
Well, no, so you actually put it on mine as well, and fortunately, my overall thoughts lined up very nicely with all of these different categories. So maybe
wonderful.
from
Okay.
now on, we'll just kind of like let that be the standard of how we
Okay.
think about things. So why don't we talk about our overall thoughts on the plot? So what did you have to say?
Okay. I felt like the plot on this one was good. I liked that there were multiple things happening. So we have the blood court, we have going back to Zilverian to get Hayden, and we have to save Evelia. Like there's a lot of different things happening, but somehow there still were lulls. And I'm not really sure why I felt that way, but I did. I really, really, really liked the ending, even though I was forcing my eyelids open to finish the last chapter last night. The ending was really good. Like, I love a cliffhanger, and she left a current problem unfinished instead of like, I hate this trope where people are like, we're going to fix this problem and there's going to be 10 pages left. And then all of a sudden, there's going to be this new unforeseen problem. And that's the new cliffhanger for the next book. I like that we're going to continue to figure out what's going on with the rot and the brimstone and how we can save Avelia for the hopefully third and final book. Instead of there just being, just a bunch of shit going on, like a Sarah J. Maas last 100 pages fighting for your life scenario.
Okay, so I have very, very similar thoughts. So I said to me, first of all, this felt like a very smooth transition from book one into book two. I feel like she sets you up very, very well to where you're at least familiar with the things that are going to happen in book two. I thought she did a good job with that. Sometimes it's just like you said, they introduce a new problem last 10 pages, and then you're like, okay, so book two feels like brand new information.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I agree with that. Yeah.
I thought she did a really good job on that. And I said the same thing, like, there are a lot of plot points. I enjoyed it, but I did feel like she could have done a better job wrapping some things up before we introduce new realm, new issue. Like, for instance, Lane, she was unconscious literally the whole entire book. Like, there were a couple of times, where she was, I guess, like, possessed by something else. But then also is like, what's happening with the vampire court now? Where is Madra in all of this? Like, I just feel like now we have so many plot points. I think she could have wrapped up a few just to get us like point A to point B. I do at minimum think that Lane could have been resurrected by the end of this book.
Yeah. Do you think that Lane's soul is like down there in that other realm, hell or whatever they're calling it? Because she keeps like, they're like, oh, she's with the demons. Oh, there's like a shadow over her. There's like, we can't get her. I'm hoping that Fisher will like find her somewhere down there.
That's a
But
really interesting
I don't know if that's even
thought.
real.
I hadn't considered that. And also, let me just say again, and this kind of gets into the writing. If you want to just move into that next, I just wrote, I'm going to let you take this because I did do the audio. I find that when I listen to a book, I'm intaking way less information, way less detail, and like paying less attention to
Yeah.
things. And so I don't know how like accurate my recollection of this book is going to be versus everyone else's. The only thing that I had to say is that the audio made this book so corny, specifically the
Oh,
female
no.
narrator. And
They had multiple narrators.
yes, so it was a male and a female. They did a great job like giving different intonation for different male and female characters, but
Mhm.
I just it
I always
changed like the
cringe a little bit when I
vibe.
listen to an audiobook, yeah. I can listen to
100%.
a nonfiction audiobook, like, no big deal.
Mhm.
A fiction audiobook makes me cringe,
Yeah, I
so I
agree.
totally get it.
Okay, so tell me
Um,
what you thought about the writing, and then I have like something to ask you.
okay, in general, I just wish that Callie Hart was more short-winded. Like, I felt like I would be skimming through multiple paragraphs of, like, almost irrelevant background information just to get to the next line of dialogue in a
Mhm.
conversation that's important. And I'm like,
Yes.
I don't like, we're having an important conversation. I don't need Carrion's thoughts about Zilverin and past and, like, all that can all be put somewhere else.
Yeah.
And every like, while she does have a big plot to deliver and, like, a lot of stuff going on, most of these characters were pretty well developed in the first book.
Yeah.
So, like, adding a bunch of shit this could have been a 450-page book,
I
but
completely agree.
I don't think that I wish in general fantasy writers would realize, like, you can develop a character without these pages long background stories,
Yes.
like, that are almost unrelated to the book. I don't really get it.
I
And I
completely
kept
agree.
finding myself feeling that way.
And especially in a book too, where you're already familiar with this person, the way that they think, the way that they feel, the way that they view situations. And I kept finding myself thinking that too. Like it would be, a tense moment, and Saris is having this huge internal monologue, and it's like this is not adding to the plot in any way. This is just
Yeah.
like building the emotion or the anticipation of the moment, depending on what it was. And I thought the same thing. Granted, I had very limited time, and so I was just more like in a rush to consume this book than
Yeah.
anything. So, but it's interesting that you say
I
that because
felt
I
like
felt
that's
that
what
way.
made yeah, so I've started this book, 2 weeks ago, maybe more,
Mm-hmm.
and I read half of it yesterday,
Yeah.
literally, because I didn't have a choice because moments like that kept, like, slowing my progress so much because 'cause I'll just be, like, rolling my eyes, wishing I was getting on with the conversation, and so
Yes.
that was my one point. One thing that she did that is not necessarily proper formal writing, but I enjoyed it as a reader, was she would kind of make her words look how you want to read them. So, like, there was a couple times where she would say and there would be like 3 or 4 A's because she wants, like, you to understand how
Mm.
the character is, like,
Yeah.
saying it and how
Yeah.
you're supposed to take it. I mean, it's again, like, it's not Pulitzer winning, but, like, I liked it as a
Yeah.
millennial reader. I'm like, "Okay, this helps me, like, really figure out what they're saying and how they're saying it."
Okay.
So that was kind of interesting. I've never really had that in a
Okay.
book.
That is interesting. I obviously didn't experience that. Um, But with like the narrator, she did do a lot of that like dragging words out or whatever. But I just thought this is a little bit more like animated. They're not just reading the script, they're doing voices and different tones and things like that. So
Yeah.
that's really
It
interesting.
wasn't, like, every page or anything, but it was frequently enough to where, like, I noticed it.
Yeah, you made note of it.
Um,
Okay. Well, what I
yeah.
wanted to ask you is apparently there's a lot of discourse online because apparently, I think it was like chapter 14. There's a point in time where like Carrion is not there, but then there is like a mention of Carrion being present. I don't know if it was like when he was back in Zilvarin and there was mention of Carrion being present in Evelia. I don't know. Um, did
Yes,
you
that
notice
really
that?
confused me. Yes, that confused me a lot. She talked about Carrie and Ann Fisher being still at Callish, and she was
Okay.
inside. I think that's where they were. It sounded like she didn't know that they had already gone through the Quicksilver, but she's the one who opened the Quicksilver gate.
Okay. So apparently they published the wrong version of the book.
Mm.
Um so someone like called this out on social media, and Callie Hart like responded to it in an Instagram DM and was like, "Yes, you're correct. They printed 100,000 copies of this book with the wrong version. Like, I'm absolutely devastated." And like, this is coming from Callie Hart's
Yeah.
Instagram. I don't know, and I don't recall that happening in the audiobook. Again, I wasn't paying that close of attention, but I don't recall that happening in the audio. So I'm
Because she
wondering if
probably gave them the right. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So I was just curious if that was something that you had picked up on, because it's apparently been like this big thing on Book Talk with people like, of course, being critical of it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, "Whoopsies," like, we forgot where we
Okay.
were,
Okay.
but, um, it, like it was seriously one paragraph of confusion and then back to, like, reality. It wasn't
Okay.
anything where, she spent a long time talking about what Carrie and and Fisher were doing. It was more just like she was referencing the fact that they were doing something that they weren't. I don't know.
Okay.
It
So
was like they were somewhere that they weren't at.
gotcha. So what you're saying is that you did not then feel compelled to go grab your phone and record yourself making a TikTok
Yeah.
talking about how this
Right.
was
Because
so
'cause I'm, like,
confusing.
normal and I
Right.
have, like,
Okay.
discernment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so interesting. That's funny. What I will say is I feel like there was a couple of things that were, like, really misplaced for this to be, almost like a historical fantasy book. Like, there would be some phrases that were, like, a little bit more modern American English
Mm.
that really didn't fit, and then also mascara.
I thought the same thing, because normally they say like, I put coal on my
Kohl,
eyes. I thought the same
which I
thing.
think more of, like, eyeliner, but I'm like, you could say it was clay, you could say it was, like, some sort of black substance. I mean, you've
Yes.
lived in a desert, how do you know what mascara
No,
is? Which I think Fisher was
100%.
explaining
Yeah.
that she put blush and mascara on, and I'm like,
What brand did she have the
yeah.
Thrive Cosmetics? Like, did it come in a
That's
tube? I have
literally what
questions.
I use. Yeah, no, I was just like there was a couple of things like that where I'm like, it's just not landing. This isn't like modern fantasy. There's not guns, there's not cars,
Yeah.
there's not mascara either. Like
100%. Yeah. No, and I literally remember exactly what I was doing. I had just fed my sourdough starter and he said it, and I remember I like looked up and I was like, I don't think I've ever heard that in a fantasy book ever, like not even one
ever.
time before.
Yeah.
Unless it
No, because it's
was
not supposed to be there.
exactly, unless it was like Crescent City. That might be like the
Okay,
only
yes,
one.
exactly. Yeah.
So
So yeah,
funny.
that's pretty much what I I have one more thing about the
Okay.
writing. This is it though. I need her to go to like a hypnotherapist and have them remove the word solar plexus from her brain. If I had to read it one more time, I was gonna lose my shit.
Do you know what other word she needs to remove from her vocabulary is ichor? It like when someone, one of the demons,
Oh, yeah, the
she
black
I
stuff.
swear to God it was in here 30 times. It and she did not describe it another way once. It was always ichor every single time. That's so funny about
It's
the
funny, I've
solar
never heard that
plexus.
said out loud. I kinda thought it was Ecor, but anyways,
Right. No,
um
welcome to the exact experience that I had the other day when I was like, "Oh."
on audiobook. Yeah, the solar plexus thing is really pissing me off because it's not even, like, really a medical term used anymore,
Mhm.
and also, it's not in your chest where your heart is, it's, like, in your abdomen.
And I would
So, it just
also
wasn't really giving,
no,
like,
and I would also
just say
venture to
sternum,
say
chest, heart.
yes. I have a feeling that like a lot of people read it and then had to Google what a solar plexus was. It's not like an extremely commonly known phrase for things, in my
Yeah, because it's
opinion.
it's that's because that's not what it's called.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, like there's a different medical word that came when people like were actually naming, new
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But I mean, there's probably like you could probably align your chakras to your solar plexus, but it's not like a real a real medical term. So anyways, pick a different word, queen. We
Yeah.
have a long third book ahead of us. I feel it in my bones. And so just like stop.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. Okay, what about your thoughts on the romance aspect? I did not say much except for, and this kind of comes back around to what you were saying with like the monologues and the continuous just like talking. I thought this was really overdone in the like, I love him so much. It hurt. Like, she just
Yeah.
kept waxing poetic about this man. And same with Kingfisher, he would do the same about her.
Yeah.
I felt like it was really overbaked, especially in a book two with an established. They've already accepted that they are mates. There's no like building up of the relationship anymore. It felt just it was overdone to me.
Yeah. So I said that the relationship in general, like the banter and stuff between them was a lot more believable than the
Mm,
first book because the first book it was like I hate you, I'm making out with you, I hate you, but I want to have sex with you, whatever. And it was like really embarrassing. But this one was a little bit more like we're mates, we're established, but it's still new, so there's still that really big, strong,
yeah,
weird connection. And I did like that she would reference it and say like, Fisher was like talking to his friend like, "This is fucking weird. I know it's weird, but I
yeah,
can't help it." Um, so I liked that, but I also agree with you that it was quite literally impossible to escape. Like you you don't have to say it in every moment. Like because you're mates and because you've said it once, I'm already thinking that whenever I'm imagining this interaction. You don't have to rehash.
right, right. Like when she would be like, I knew I could find him. He was my mate after all. Like,
I know.
we
We
know we're
know.
literally 600 pages into book two. So we don't need the reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of how I felt like better than the first book, but still cringy.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I thought that, actually, I think I say this coming up. So, did you have any other thoughts before we move into our character lineup?
No, no, that's it.
Okay, so let's start with our female main character, Saris, which, by the way, I think they're pronouncing Saris, but it's the way when they say it so quickly, I can't tell how hard the A is or not. I just always say Saris, like as though the A were
I
not
say
there.
Saris too. Yeah.
Okay.
I say the same.
Okay. So, what were your thoughts on Miss Saris Saris?
I liked her more in this book than I did in
Mm,
the last book. I did at least get through her character on the previous episode of ours, and I just found her extremely emotional and like um labile. But this time I felt like she was more stable. She knew she had
mm-hmm.
power. She was really owning her new position. Even if she was freaking out internally, she still performed really well
Yeah.
under a lot of the pressures that she had from being the queen. And I don't know. I think that she was just a lot more tolerable in general, but it's
Mm-hmm.
probably because she had that sense of safety. Like, I do have a mate, I have a place here. She was a little bit worried about everything back in Zolvarin, but that wasn't the primary focus.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of deterred me from her in the first book. It was like every 5 minutes she was like, well, I have to get back to my brother.
Yeah.
And so now it's like you can really focus on her and how she's going to move forward in Evelia instead of, or not Evelia, whatever the
Uh
whole
huh.
realm is called. So,
Yep.
um, that's kind of how I felt. I do still think she was a little bit too impulsive for my tastes. Like whenever she basically was like talking to Algot and she was like, "You're just never allowed to read mine or my friends' minds again." And I'm like, "Well, you don't know how much that could benefit you in a
Yeah.
future circumstances." And she just like, banished her. And then she almost completely fucked up her whole entire agreement with the Hazrax because she was just so emotional.
Yeah. Not thinking clearly. I think that's a completely fair critique. And I felt the same way. Whenever a female main character feels entirely neutral to me, I'm not thinking too much about like, oh my God, shut up, or like, don't be stupid about things. That's when I tend to not like a female main character. But to me, I liked her. I felt like she has like settled in nicely to this new roles that she has. I appreciate her not being stupid. The thing with the Hazrax was like as close as we almost
And
came.
she really got,
Yeah, thank God that didn't go through. Um, and something that I want to say is that I think I already said this, but the female narrator for her was not my favorite. She made her feel so corny, like, no offense to the people who did like drama club and stuff like that, but like it felt really theatrical and really like over the top, overdone, and especially like in the sex scenes specifically, like
oh no,
imagine the most theater kid girl that you know saying the word pussy.
having sex, yeah,
Yeah,
shit,
and it was like,
yeah,
I rubbed my pussy down his thick cock, and like just the way that she did the voice was so like I literally like my toes are curled right now. It makes me cringe so bad. Almost skipped through all of the sex scenes because I absolutely could not stand hearing it from the female narrator. Anyway,
yeah, really tough.
my only like major critique is that I personally feel like by the end of book 2, she should have at least like a general understanding of all of her magic and be actively like working on it and being able to like understand and utilize the magic. Maybe not in its entirety, but like no, at least, because I'm pretty sure this is a
Yeah,
trilogy. I think there's only one book left. So that was just bothering me.
yeah, it's hard because like they kept introducing new little magics that she could do and
Yes.
like could eventually have access to. And it's like that's all fine and good, but like she still hasn't even figured out what an alchemist does. So like
Right.
how are we, I don't know. It was really confusing
Yeah.
to me on the magic front. A lot of the magic was confusing to me.
Yeah, same.
Um so like I actually prefer like whenever I think back to like Throne of Glass, for example. I have no fucking clue what Aylin's power is. All I know is that there's power and she can kind of bend it to her will. That kind of feels more in line with what Saris is able to do
Yes.
instead of it being this one specific thing like for metals or for whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think it would have been a lot easier for her to get a handle on it if it wasn't so specific. But
Yeah.
the problem is if you're writing it for a specific reason, like we need her to be able to do the Quicksilver and do the Brimstone. Okay, period. That's it.
Right.
It's not like she can now have runes on her arms to do whatever the fuck she wants with her Quicksilver. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, it was really confusing. And I just thought that it was one of those instances where I'm just listening. I'm not seeing written words, so I'm not retaining the information. And therefore, I don't understand the magic. But it is nice to know that it generally is confusing because, like, the runes seem to be continuing to come into play, but you only really hear about them when she's actively using her magic or when she gets upset and the runes, like, light up on their own.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
But it
don't
hasn't
know.
even been established, like, does she have to have a certain rune to use a certain power? Or does she,
Mm-hmm.
like, it sounds like the Brimstone and the Quicksilver one she did,
Mm-hmm.
but then she healed without it because healing's a lesser magic. I don't know. I really don't.
I don't understand it either, and I still don't understand how she healed Onyx at the end because it was apparently through the Hazrax's undoing spell, but then she also then after that, I guess does have healing magic. I don't know. I just felt like that part of it is a little bit confusing, but I also don't think that in this book magic is necessarily like a huge factor in all of these things. It obviously
Mhm.
is, and it's how things work, but it's not like I feel like in other books they are so reliant on the fact that they have powers. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Kingfisher's powers make sense to me because it's all shadow. Perfectly
Right.
written,
Right.
easy to understand.
Yep.
So anyway, I kind of already moved ahead, sorry, but
Yeah.
how did you feel about Kingfisher?
Okay. Since I am just like talking about the audiobook, loved the male narrator. He was fantastic, and I felt like he did a really good job with Kingfisher's voice. I really liked him. Um to me, Kingfisher feels every bit the same character that I loved in the first book, and I so appreciate continuity with characters. I think a lot of times, specifically with the male main character, they tend to fall in love, the bond has been accepted with the mate, and then they start to go absolutely feral. They get soft, like their whole personality changes. And I did not feel that way about Kingfisher. What did you have a similar
That's funny. I
experience?
actually wrote the opposite, but not like over not in a bad way. Like I liked him
Okay.
so much better because he was like a little bit softer around the edges. Not like she's my mate, she's everything. I'm going to like, whatever. I mean, even
Mhm.
though he did like physically say those things, he was still very powerful um in his own right and like doing what he
Yeah.
wanted to do still. But I think their banter in the first book really just turned me off to them both, Saris and Kingfisher, because
Mhm.
it just wasn't believable. So now that they have a more believable love story and that is settled, and there's not all this like I need to act a certain way around her so that she knows that I
Mm.
hate her or whatever. I don't know. It was so much better for me. They're
Okay.
just like Kingfisher and Saris, just their characters in general.
Okay, I think that's completely fair critique, and I think that it's because in book one, Kingfisher is like just come out of the maze. He's like literally like a little bit. He's fucked up in the head,
Yeah.
and he's got so much just like shit going on that he's dealing with. He kind of goes from like crazy person to normal instead of being like most male main characters are like normal to big softy is kind of like their
Yeah.
transition. So I think
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
totally
He's
fair.
like normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked him a lot. I felt like he was just more genuine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so
Um,
too. He just felt a little bit more like less trauma-y. It was like almost like he had finally like
mhm.
settled into his new life, not being in the maze and dealing with all this stuff. And also by the end of book one, everybody like finds out where he's been all this time and like what went down. And so things are just more normal. He doesn't have to be so like fight or flight 100% of the time.
Yeah, true, true. I do have a lot of questions about the ending, but I really liked it for him.
Yeah, same.
And I hope that Callie Hart is the type to like answer our burning questions on chapter 1, page 1.
Yeah.
Like tell me what's happening because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just like I have to know what's about to go down.
Yeah, no, same. And okay, so same as you, last night I was finishing the audiobook. The last like 10 minutes is the last chapter. My eyeballs, like I could not keep my eyelids open. But am I understanding correctly that at the end he says something like go get our father?
Yeah. So apparently his father is the leader of this hell realm. But what I'm confused about is like these dragons and this like realm do not observe the gods. But previously, twice in the book, he says that the gods gifted his father shadows. So I'm like, really, what is it? What, like,
Mm.
who is it? What is it? How did he get the shadows? And he said that he used the shadows to do good. But face value of the realm, I don't think that that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we have a lot of questions. I'm same as you. At the end, I was like, what the fuck are we doing in this place? Like, how is this relevant
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
anything at all? So it was a nice surprise because I truly was just not. I didn't understand. Again, I was just. I this book was vibes for me. I wasn't picking up on anything. I was not trying
Mhm.
to analyze or, predict what was going to happen. I thought it was great. Um, Another thing is that I was really glad that he finally got to learn what his true name was, I don't think that we needed to do the name swap at the end of
Mm-mm.
the book. That was bothering me when Saris was like, this was him. Like I felt it in
He
my
would always be
bones.
him to me.
Yeah. That's really weird. Like as speaking as someone who still refers to my husband by exclusively his last name after having known him for 12 years at this point, you don't just decide that this is someone's name now and then it's like, oh yeah, that feels more like their name after you've been calling it him this other name for so long, since you've literally
Yeah,
known the man.
since you've met him. That's what I actually put that down, like, later on, but I'm happy to talk about it now. We're not doing Kai. Like, that is
No.
so bad. Like, Fisher wasn't even, like, really my favorite male main character name
Yeah.
of all time,
Yeah.
but Kaiden, like, it's feminine, first of all, but
Okay, how is it spelled?
Khydan. So whenever she says Kai, it's Khy.
Oh, that's even worse now. I thought maybe it was going to
Yeah.
like save it with the spelling, but I hate that.
Yeah, and the H is giving femme, and I don't I just agree with you. I don't think we needed a name change. I think you're gonna go back to Avelia and everyone's gonna call him Fisher because they've been
Mhm.
calling him Fisher since they fucking have known him for 1,000 years.
Literally, he's Kingfisher of Agen or whatever it
Gate.
is like his
Yeah.
formal name. I hate it. And also huge hater of the girls who like when a man such as my husband, when a man goes by his last name or like everyone calls him this name and the girl that he's dating decides that she and she alone will be referring to him by his first name or full name, like example is like the name, like if someone goes by Chris and she insists that she will now be calling this person Christopher. I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually had to do that whenever I met Jacob because I'd never known him before. And he
Right.
introduced himself to me as Jacob, and like now he's Jake, but like I called him Jacob and literally no one else did. And I was like, I think I just have to start calling you Gober, but I don't want to.
And you know what? I feel like in your instance specifically, a lot of people now call him Jake, whereas like in high school, he was Gobert. It was never Jacob. Literally not a day in his life except for like from teachers, of course.
Sure.
But I can remember him having girlfriends in high school, and they were literally the only ones who called him Jacob. And like, who are you talking about?
Yeah, who? Yeah. But no, I felt that way on the beach trip actually. That's whenever me and Katie met was on a beach trip with Jake's friend group. And I was having to call him Gober the whole trip
And it probably
because
felt so foreign in your mouth.
it was so crazy, but I see both sides is what I'll say.
Mhm. Yeah, I just don't know. And especially if it's like you had been calling him Gober for months, and one day he's like, actually, my name's
And
Jacob.
then
And you're like,
yeah.
oh, you're right. It is Jacob.
Well, that's the thing is that Kingfisher didn't even know his own true name. So why the fuck would he want to go by that?
And she
And it's
didn't run
also
it
like
past
clearly
him.
taboo. No, it's clearly taboo in the Fae realm because it can be used against you. But she's like, well, I undid it. It's like, okay. That doesn't make
Mhm.
it any less weird from like a ceremonial standpoint.
No, like if you go back and start calling him Kai, people are like, you will receive so much side eye. No one knows who the fuck you're talking about. Again, this man is like 1,700 years old. So
Yeah.
we're not doing Kai. All of a
We're not doing
sudden,
guy.
you get a new girlfriend and now all of a sudden you have a different name. I don't think so. I wouldn't be doing that. Speaking
I
for
wouldn't
myself
either.
personally. Um, okay, sorry. My last point on Kingfisher is I love his relationship with Carrion, and I love the way that it evolved through the course of this book. But I wanted to ask you, have you seen all the memes comparing them to Shrek and Donkey?
No, I have not. I haven't seen a single one.
They're so fun. There's not like a follow-up point to that, but it's so true. Especially
A good
like,
comparison.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, beginning of Shrek, like this is literally the most insufferable person on earth with the most ornery, like pissed off man alive. So funny. The first time I saw it, I was like, that is a perfect representation.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So do you want to move on to Carrion then?
Yeah. Very interested to hear your thoughts on him.
Yeah, I have a little bit of mixed feelings because I liked him in the first book. I thought he added like he was the only source of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like she's just taken it to a level that makes him seem stupid. But then she wants to keep reminding you that he's not stupid and he can fight with a sword and he's Fae and he's this and he's that. And then he gets addressed by the satyrs and he's like, I like your horns. My name's Carrion. It's like, okay, there needs to be a middle ground
Yes.
that we can find for him to be funny and witty and stupid, but still like know how to handle certain situations.
Okay. So I said something similar. Like, I'm obsessed with Carrion from book 1. I loved it. Like, even coming into book 2, I thought that when he and Kingfisher went back to Zilvar, and I was like, this is so funny. After a while, it starts to get a little like class clownish. That said, I was not like a huge fan of that falling away and him becoming more serious and more like introspective, almost specifically about like whether or not he wanted to take up the throne and all of that. So I don't necessarily know how I feel about him. Like, I think that I still really, really like his character and I love the idea and like the energy that he brings, but I don't think that she nailed the balance of his character in this book.
No, it was very one or the other. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to find a middle ground where he can still be the person that takes up the throne, but still be funny and still
Yeah.
like be himself.
Yeah.
I just, I think that it was just really hot or really cold on Carrion throughout the whole book. And I got the Barnes and Noble exclusive edition with the sprayed edges. And the very first photo is like an animated like picture of Carrion, like the front cover on the inside. And so I thought this was going to be like his book where he realizes his power and he comes into the throne and he's like figuring all that out. I'm like, he really didn't do anything.
No, he really did it. And like, of course he was a key player in the book, but like not really, more so just in frequency that he was in the book, not necessarily because he was contributing so much. But that's so funny. And it's even funnier because someone else had told me prior to you sending me a picture of it. They were like, the book has like this picture of Carrie and it's so good. I'm going to send it to you. And so like when I saw it, I just of course laughed because his character is funny. Like the way that we left off in book 1 is so great. And then when you sent it to me, you were like, what the fuck is this? And it was just funny because it was so like polarizing.
Opposite.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, so funny.
Because I'm like, because like the front of the book is like beautiful. The sprayed edges are great. I open it up and I got this fucking redhead little man standing by a tree. It's like, I don't know. It's not like a battle scene, you know what I mean? It's not anything hot. It's just like, it's like a LinkedIn picture.
It almost, LinkedIn picture. It almost is just like someone, like the girls on TikTok were hyping her up. Like, we love Carrie and more. And she was like, okay, I'm going to capitalize on this. But it almost is sending like the wrong message about the contents of
the book. Correct.
So
yeah,
funny.
Exactly. So enough about Carrion. Now we'll move on to, I have Taladaeus next.
Taladaeus. Yep. Thank God I'd listened to the audiobook because otherwise I would not be pronouncing his name correctly. Okay. So what I wrote was in the middle of the book, I just put like, I cannot trust him and I don't like having that feeling about him because I so badly wanted him to be ally on our side, not doing anything sneaky. I was happy to find that like when he was doing something sneaky, it wasn't in opposition to,
Yeah.
our message or our mission. But I need so much more information on his background, the relationship that he had with everyone before he up and left and went to the vampire court, his relationship with Lane. Like, I need all of it. And I felt like it was weird that she didn't give it to us in this book.
I agree because I feel like he was in such close proximity to everyone. This could have been the part where like he goes and visits Lane and like we learned about what their
Mm-hmm.
relationship was like and all of that. And then also we learned a little bit about him and Fisher in the maze, but not anything before that. And so
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well now we see why Fisher likes him, but why does everybody else hate him? Like what did he
Mm-hmm.
do before he went to the vampire realm? Like, and was that his plan all along, was to like basically plant the seeds, get the position where he is in enough, position of
Yeah.
power to do a mass murder? Like I don't know, I just think that we just needed to connect all the dots. But
I
I
completely
am very
agree.
glad that he's Fae now and decided he chose life,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't, it was forced upon him, but he did at the end. And I don't know, I have no idea what I thought about him in the last book because we didn't really specifically talk about him.
Yeah.
Did he like he I don't know if he really even came up until he saved
Yeah,
Sarah's.
I think I think that he was like just mentioned here or there. And I don't necessarily think that you are under the impression that he's going to be a bigger part of this
Important.
story.
Okay.
It felt like he had good relationship with everybody, was obviously like friends with this whole group of people. Then he runs away. There, I'm imagining with some sort of animosity, but then it seems like even from that, at least Kingfisher has moved on, and all these people are at least cordial with him enough to like be in the room, like be on the same team as him. It feels like we have a lot of ground to cover between like point A to point B. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
because
would have.
I think as the reader, we didn't really know he was on our side like that. Like we knew that he liked Saris.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know it was like that. So I think now that it's more out in the open, people will come to him and be more open to having a friendship. But it's just, yeah, I feel like that could have happened in the book,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. I wanted a lot more information about his character. Um, and then someone else who I wanted more information about was Foley. How was his name
Mm-hmm.
spelled in the book?
Foley.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I kind of thought it might have been Folly. Um, anyway, the thing about him is that he piqued my interest like from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
from the moment they said like he's here, have you found him, to when he attacks Saris, and then like the snake eyes are really cool. I cannot for the life of me see where this is headed. Like I can't even try to guess how he's going to come into play in the story.
I know. When he first came in and like tried to kill her, and then you find out that he's Fisher's like one of his best friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is the character. He's going to be my favorite character in the book. He's going to do a
Yes.
180. We're going to be obsessed. And then I thought at the I forgot what that ball was called when she crowned him as the Lord of Midnight. I'm like, here we go. Here's like where we're getting the footing to really see what he can do. And then I think Taladeus, his little stunt just kind of like upended
Yeah.
that whole plot line. So I don't know where we go from here with Foley, but I was very, very interested at first. And now I'm like, okay, well, now what does he do?
Yeah, and he obviously is going to play a larger role because in the book she's like only trust the golden-eyed wolf or whatever
Yeah.
it is. And I don't even understand the wolf part of it. Maybe I missed something when I was
He's part of the
listening.
Lupo Prolia, which is the wolf gang,
Mm,
basically.
okay. Um yeah, I would have liked to have had more from him. I wasn't obsessed with the way that he was like went from killing her to within minutes like Okay, I'm actually on your team now, and I'm going to help you figure out, like, I know all this stuff about the alchemists, and so now I'm going to train you. Like, this is literally in a 3-minute conversation. The entire thing
Yeah,
shifts.
but whenever you're, like, reading it, he seems a lot more annoyed by the whole thing. Like,
Mm,
even when he is actively helping her day at a time, he's still just like, "I don't fuck with you because 'cause you're part vampire. I don't trust you." And, like, even whenever he finally talks to Fisher, he's like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, why are you with a vampire?"
mm.
So,
Okay.
I think it was probably just came across differently on the audiobook
Okay, yeah, and
at
that's
2 point
fair.
whatever speed you were
No,
listening.
literally, like, I almost didn't finish this book. Um, but yeah, I liked his character. I was glad to have like someone else introduced because really you're moving every single character from book 1 into book 2. He was like one of the
Mhm.
only like main characters that we added in this book, and I thought that he was a good addition.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. I didn't really have anything else to say about him, honestly.
Okay. Now, did you have any thoughts on we could do Lorith next? Renfist. There's so many characters in this book. So who do you want to
It's
talk
so
about
many.
next?
Honestly, Lorth, I don't have much to say. I wanted more of him. I thought he was great in the first book, and he just didn't really, he kind of fell flat in this one, but
I
I'm
thought the
hoping
same
the next book
thing.
will be better.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and I really thought I felt the same way about Lorith and Renfist. Like I felt like they were
Hmm.
major in the first book. This one, they're just kind of like supporting characters, not really moving the plot along, except for at the end when we finally catch back up with Renfist. And let me say something about the audiobook. He has an Irish accent.
Oh,
The way every time he spoke, I had to turn it back down to like 1x speed because I could not fucking understand it. And the male narrator did such a good job with the accent. It sounded like a true Irish accent.
that's
I
so
could not
funny.
understand a fucking word that he was saying. Like, even if I closed my eyes and listened intently, I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Oh God, yeah, no, that's hard. Um, yeah, I felt the same way about Memphis. Like I just wanted more of his friends. Like I was over having Carrie 24/7. I would rather have
Mm.
Lorith and Memphis, but I also realized how inconvenient it is that they can't talk to the Lupo Prolia in their mind. It's
Yes.
like, what do you mean we spent all this time worrying about him and wondering where he was? And he was like at his house.
Literally.
You
Like,
didn't send a letter.
I hated that too. Especially because it's like he was missing for a long time, like over half the book. He's
Yeah.
missing. I thought it was the same, and then it's kind of like they reconnect, and it's almost as though Fisher was like, "Oh, this is where you've been," and then he's just like kind of carries on as though he hadn't just been missing for I don't know weeks at a time, and
Yeah.
nobody had heard from him. Um,
It is the most like truly male thing that happened in the book. Like, oh, perfect. You're here. Great. Now
so
let's move on to the next.
so true. They don't give a fuck. They're just like, "Oh, okay." And whereas a woman would have literally 1,000 questions.
Mhm. Yeah, it
That's
would
so
be
funny.
chapters of discussion.
100%. Um, okay, the only other point that I had about Memphis was I don't know. I did TikTok catch up from Quicksilver. Apparently there were like 4 bonus chapters in various, versions of the book. Um and so I did listen to the chapter about what happened at Agen when they killed Omnishakrai or whatever that dragon's name was.
Mhm.
And now it made me really wish that we had gotten to know Remphis's twin sister.
Mhm.
I thought that part was like really sad. Did we learn that? I guess we did we learn that at all in book 1 that he had a twin that died?
I don't really remember. I remember learning it early in this book, but then I couldn't remember if we already knew it or not.
Okay.
And that she like her soul is in the sword.
Yeah. Um the like fan art of her is so cute. She's like little blondie, and I wish that she could be part of the story, but like I continue to just say like I wish I knew more about this character. And so I just kind of feel like the allocation of like time spent with each character was just not exactly to my liking.
Agree. I agree. Yeah. Because she's just spent so much time on Carrion and um, Kingfisher that, like, and we already know these people.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, did you have anyone else that you wanted to speak about? There's so many other characters.
I know. The only thing that I wanted to talk about was Kingfisher's mom's addition
Mm.
to this book, including her book,
Yeah.
Adina of the Seven Towers. You're my queen. I love you.
Mm.
That this was such a good idea, like to have
Mm-hmm.
this book from the Oracle, and she's obviously like seen specific parts of their journey, but not everything. I'm assuming she didn't see what happened with Tal. Like that wasn't in there, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. I seriously was like, this is so cool. And like
Mm-hmm.
everyone's following the rules. Like, you know, it was just funny. I did think it was funny that she said, don't give it. Fisher can't know about it. And she tells Fisher immediately. And then Fisher was like, I'm not going to read it. Like you have it. I was like, oh my God, he is handling this so well. And but like, this is so mature. And then I saw the page of the book and I was like, well, no wonder. Cause his mom literally commanded him not to touch the book again.
Yes. No,
Like,
it's so fun. And I also love how she was like, do not tell Fisher. And yet, like, knowing that she had written a page in there that was like, since she gave you the book, you're not supposed to read any of this. So just give it back. I thought it was so funny. I love the little, like, origami, or at least that's what I'm picturing in my head, the little, like,
yep,
birds in the library that
birds.
made up the pages of the book. And immediately, as soon as she puts it together that like all of these birds make up the book, my very first thought was like, wait, what about that one page?
What about the one
Like,
that died? I know. Thank God she, circled back on that.
thank God. But no, I loved that. I loved that his mom like got to be a part of it, especially because she was obviously like a very special person to him. She had a lot of um like she played a large role in setting him up for his future. Like he always knew that his mate existed and was out there somewhere just because of his mom. I thought it was really
Hmm.
sweet that like his mom had all these dresses made like for his mate and all of that. So I was really happy to have her back in the story in some way that wasn't she got resurrected from the dead.
I know, thank God. Okay, so that's all we've got on our characters. Now let's play favorites. Who was your favorite character?
Okay, my favorite character was the Hazrax. I know we didn't like
That's a good choice.
I know we didn't
He was my second.
necessarily okay. We didn't have much discussion and there's not a lot to say, but I really really enjoyed this and also missed the physical like explanation of what it looked like. And so in my head, I just want everyone to know that it's actually the villain from Bug's Life, the cockroach
Oh,
is so yeah, I have literally not a clue. I haven't Googled fan art to like see how close I am. I missed something.
the first time I read it, I thought he was kind of giving like tree like
Oh, like Groot.
and kind of. And then the more every time we met him, the description made less and less sense for that. So I was like, I ain't got a fucking clue what this guy looks like.
Okay, I'm imagining villain from Bug's Life, but like like larger than a human kind of
Okay.
deal, and like also more rounded. I can't even explain. Anyway, I loved the Hazrax. I love the entire concept of it. I'm so intrigued by like why is it just nosy? Because swear to God, if that was me, I would just make deal like just let me watch. Just let me be there for what's gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen just so I can like hear every conversation, be a part of things, listen in, just so I have the information. I thought it was such a good addition to this, and I thought it was really crazy that he was like a lord of I don't remember midnight. I don't remember what they called
Mm-hmm.
him. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, loved him slash her.
I loved them as well. My favorite was Taladaeus. Um,
Love that.
it was such a close one between him and the Hazarax, but I'm just like hoping for his character to like really get what he deserves in the next book.
No, I completely agree, and I just feel like there's obviously a lot we don't know, he's potentially misunderstood, but it feels like he's carrying a lot that we just
Mm-hmm.
haven't been able to see yet. I really enjoyed his character, and I wanted so much more and to like be able to know him better. So I love that call.
Yeah. Yeah. What about favorite scene?
Okay. Favorite scene, the all of Carrion and Kingfisher in Zilvarin was just like great to me. You had the comedy, you had the action, they were figuring things out. There was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
other goings on. I thought it was really interesting, and I also really enjoyed getting to see like a glimpse into Carrion's life in Zilvarin as like knowing that he knows that he's Fae and he's just this old man like
Yeah.
literally wasting time in the human realm just like doing shit. I really really enjoyed that.
That's funny. Yeah, I like that was a really good whole I don't, it's not a scene, but it's like a whole this whole
Like a
like part of
series
the
of
plot was
events.
really good. Yeah.
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 What about you?
My favorite scene was when Hayden wakes up and Sarah says to go and talk to him and he's being a little bitch and she beats his ass. I have been waiting for Saris to stand up for herself against this little leech since the day we met them both in Zilvarin. And yeah, he deserved worse, but he got what he got.
Okay, perfect. Moving into let's talk some shit. Hayden was my least favorite character for this reason. Grow up.
Yep.
Like be a little bit grateful for your
Uh-huh.
upbringing. Like when he said, I can't remember exactly what he said, and she was like, she just like punches him in the face and is like,
He said,
"You
"Well,
think
we
it
did
was
have more food and water than everyone, so why you might have been working for her."
oh my god, like you think it was easy? I literally was out here like getting my ass beat every day so that you could have food and water, you little bitch." That's exactly the way that I felt. I'm so glad that she just like unleashed on him, and like you said, he
Yeah.
deserved worse.
I know, he did. I also had him as least favorite character. Again, I think we both had him as our last book's
Did
least
we
favorite character.
actually?
I know I did for certain. I don't know who you had, but um yeah, that was really fucking crazy. And then he's like, trying to join this meeting. She's like, "All right, get out." And he's like, "Oh, I have to go get locked out again." Yeah, cuz you don't fucking know anything about anything. But yeah, sit here and be
Right.
confused. Join us.
And you know what makes all of this even worse is that he's like a curly headed blonde kid.
Mm, the worst. The worst. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that like Kingfisher and him like didn't really get along. Like
Mm
Fisher was like not dealing
hmm. Mm
with
hmm.
Hayden well, and I was like,
Yeah.
he deserves every bit of scrutiny that he's getting.
Yeah, I completely agree. I can only hope that he like comes into his own or becomes less annoying, less of a pest in book 3,
Yeah.
but like he's got a long way to go and I
But
don't
how?
know.
Yeah, because he's human. He's
That's what I
stuck in
want to
this world
know.
where like humans are like kind of useless.
That's what I want to know. Like what is his future in this realm? I don't know that it's much of anything.
I don't know either. Yeah. Whatever. He's alive. He's fed. That's all he gives a fuck about, anyways.
Exactly. While his sister's off, like literally saving his ass day after
Saving
day.
the world.
Literally. But, whatever. Okay.
It is what it
What was
is.
your least favorite scene?
We kind of already talked about this, but my least favorite was when Onyx died and she brought him back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was obviously sad. Like, I didn't want Onyx to die. That was sad. Whatever. But then there's this whole sacrificial thing about, well, I'd rather give up this rune that can undo anything.
Bro.
You have a long way to go in saving the realm. Like, you're really not even that close.
Mm-hmm.
You might need the undo button like once or twice, but you're gonna do it on this fox. And then, like, okay, Callie, like, all you had to do was make him be bleeding out, and she just somehow figures out how to access the
The
small
healing
healing magic.
power.
you don't have to give up this big gift from the Hazraks to save the you didn't even have to kill him.
I completely agree. And of course, as it's all happening, last night I'm wrapping gifts and I'm listening and I'm like, no, not the fox. Like, he better not die.
The fox, so sad.
And but then I was like, when she's like, I'm gonna undo it, I was like, wait, I thought we had already established that you know that you have healing abilities.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Why can't we just do that instead?
Figure those out.
Yeah, absolutely hated that. I hated the whole, like, that whole scene. Of course, like you said, it was sad, but I hated like the series of events that played out in that scene.
Yeah, it was just dumb. It was just giving dumb bitch. Okay, what about your least favorite scene?
My least favorite scene was after like they've moved the troops to like the White Cliffs or whatever, and she comes upon Taladeus crying, and he's like got like Zavina's body right there. To me, he just felt like a broken person. Like, I felt like I could just feel the sadness and like level of just like despair that he was in. And
that's not a good scene to you? That's what I thought. I was like, this is like really sad, but really good.
No, like so good. But like, it just breaks my heart for him because I really, really like Taladeus. I'm like a huge Taladeus fan, and I can't describe this thing that I have about like a vampire who's like got silver hair and is like a little bit mysterious.
Right. Yeah.
The chokehold that this kind of character has on me, I absolutely can't explain. But it made me so sad for him. I just felt like I felt literally distraught on his behalf.
Me too. I totally get it. Like, ugh, it's so sad.
Yeah, but now let me just say something else about Zavina. Fuck that bitch. I cannot say that I will shed a single tear over her death. I'm happy that she's gone. May she rest, is what I'll say.
May she rest. Okay, do you have any hot takes?
Okay.
Outside of the name Kai being literally stupid.
Okay. I thought, this is what I put. I think it's a hot take that I liked the book, period, because people did not like this book. Even on my Goodreads, my friends are giving it 2 stars. Like, several people, 2 stars. I think that that is a hot take in and of itself. That said, I think that because I listened to it on audio, it felt more mindless. I didn't feel like I was investing so much and being so critical and analytical of the book, and therefore it was easier for me to enjoy. And I would also like to say that is why I am now, after experiencing this, giving you grace for liking The Road of Bones, because
thank you so much.
Yeah, I get it now. Like, if someone's just reading it to you and you're just doing your shit while you listen to a book and there's no effort, it's a little bit easier to enjoy. Okay. So that's what I had, that's what I had written. But now you just made me realize I do have a hot take. And that is that I do not feel connected to Onyx at all. I think that the book could do entirely without the little fox. I think it's cute and it's like endearing to have him. He just doesn't do it for me. Like, I don't feel endeared to that. I don't feel connected to that. Even if he would have died, I would have been like, oh, that's so sad. I would not have mourned it the way that I have a lot of other animals and characters in other books.
That's literally what when I wrote my section about Onyx, I was like, honestly, even if he had to die, I was thinking it would have been a good sacrificial character because he's not so vital or pivotal. I agree. So the Barnes and Noble exclusive edition, the back cover is a picture of Onyx. So me getting the book, I'm like, why are these 2 characters on the front and back of the book? And then I was like, I really don't know, because, I thought when I was reading Onyx dying, I was like, oh, well, that's why they put him on the back cover, because they feel bad for like breaking our hearts. My heart's not that broken, but I know a lot of people's will be. But yeah, I'm not really like the biggest Onyx like fan. And I think that way in a lot of books about pets in particular. But if it's like a
Mm-hmm.
dragon or a horse that you have a bond with from like war or like,
Mm-hmm.
battle, whatever, or you can like talk to them. But Onyx is just like a regular old fox.
No, literally. And that's kind of what I was just thinking. Like, I don't want to say that Sarah's relationship with the fox is performative, but it does, like, when she sees him and he's like jumping in her arms and is licking all over, and she's like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you, specifically because of the way that the female narrator played out these scenes. I'm not getting that from her. Like, she doesn't give obsessive dog mom. And I can say that as someone who is literally obsessed with their dog. She and I are not the same. Like, I love my
Mhm.
dog 1 trillion times more than she loves this fox.
Yeah, I don't know. And like also he plays such a role in the beginning. Like he's like the opening scene
Yeah.
in the book too. And I remember rolling my eyes about that. Like, okay, why are we talking about the fucking fox? Like he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we are in agreement on that. And now I'm like, maybe that wasn't a hot take.
I don't know. I think a lot of people really enjoy pets in
Yeah.
books, and I'm assuming that's the feedback that she got, and that's why she put him on
Yeah.
the back cover.
No, you're probably right. Okay. Lastly, we will do our
No, I
final.
have a hot take still that you haven't
Oh,
asked me
I'm
about. I forgot
so
to say.
sorry.
Sorry.
I thought
It's
that that
okay.
was your hot take.
No. You're not gonna agree with me. I don't think that Zavina should have died. Um, I was really happy that she was Faye because I think she's a bitch, okay?
Uh huh.
And I loved that Sarah's like was always putting her down
Uh huh.
onto the level that she needed to be put at. But she was turned Faye and kind of forced to join this like random group of people to get across um to the White Cliffs.
Yeah.
So here I am thinking, okay, she's going to fight with them in battle, and then she's going to kind of be forced to have a character arc or like a
Yes.
redemption with everybody. But I didn't realize, I think, that Tao was in love with her
Mm-hmm.
when all of that was playing out. But I was thinking, like, oh, well, because she has Tao here, like, this could be. This could be how it ends up working out for everybody. And then she fucking died.
I can't say that I disagree with you, because I also think that she then brings in another kind of like person, another element of the vampire court. And like you said, she would have some kind of arc. And I also think that she probably was a good person to have on your team. I know that she was like reluctantly on their team at this point in time, but I think that her character could have still added to the story in like a meaningful way.
I think so
Um,
too.
yeah, so I can't say that I necessarily disagree with that. I am glad that she died. I'm always gonna love when like a bitch gets, what they had coming.
Hmm.
But I do still think she was the perfect character to set up as the bitch that you fucking hate, that at the end of the day, like, you are just obsessed with because you finally get her
Yeah.
on your team and she's like a little baddie. So, yeah.
Exactly. I was like, she could offer so much because, yeah, she's a bitch to Saris, but she's also like, she has powers. She has a high position in the court.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And no, it's just taken away
Yeah.
from me.
I actually really like that take.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Now you can move on.
Okay, sorry, I did not mean to steal your spotlight. Okay, so we will do our final ratings, stars and chili peppers. Now that I've said that I think it's a hot take that I liked this book and you kind of gasped, I'm curious to see what you rated it.
Oh, I couldn't decide if I wanted to give it 4 or 4.5 stars. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed my time, but also keep in mind, it took me a long time to even get through the first half. And then
Mm-hmm.
I devoured the second half
Yeah.
only because, like, I was held at gunpoint by this recording time.
Right.
So I don't know if maybe I'm in the same position as you that like the rate with which I consumed the book is having an effect, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it was written really well minus that one line in a single paragraph in chapter 14. Like,
Right.
please let her live it down. Um I think it was well written. I think the plot was well done. Of course, there's
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of different things happening, but outside of her being long-winded, extremely so, I don't really have that much negative feedback.
No, I also said 4 stars. I had the same experience. I had a great time here. I really enjoy this world and I really enjoy the characters. And just for me, anytime I feel like a book seamlessly moves from book 1 to book 2 and your storyline continues and it feels like a cohesive story, I thought she did a great job. I thought the plot made sense. She wasn't throwing too much at us. You could understand it, but while still like building on the story and the world and like everything that's going on. I don't have really anything that I can definitively say like I hated or disliked this about the book.
Okay, yeah, I feel the same way. I do not know why she's catching strays. Callie, you did a great job.
Yeah, no, I
It was a
completely
quick
agree.
turnaround.
Completely agree. It's very pleasing to read a book to that after the fact you're like, yeah, actually like I'm excited for book 3. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to read book 3 when it comes out and it'll most likely be covered on this podcast. So,
Yeah. No. Yeah. I have no complaints.
okay. And then what about Chili's?
So I gave it 2.5 chilies. I think the first sex scene was like on page 90. So she did give you some time to like, it wasn't like, oh, we're back together and we're in
Mhm.
Avelia and now we're just like fucking like crazy because we're mates. It was extremely palatable, but still
Mhm.
really spicy whenever it did happen. And so I gave it 2.5.
Okay. I actually gave it 3. I thought this was like spicy. And again, it could
Yeah.
have just been because it was playing out loud and like obviously, I'm married and have been for quite some time, so like what goes on in the bedroom is not foreign to me. It maybe I was just embarrassed by because it's playing out loud. I don't like walk around the
It
house
makes
with
it so
headphones.
different. Yeah.
And I was like, I would literally be embarrassed if my husband heard me listening to this. Like, I don't know, but it felt really spicy. Like, even in the scene, the way that they were talking to each other, and also, like, because I was doing audio and she's making noises and, like, saying
Oh
things
my
in a
God.
certain, it felt really spicy. I was, like, actually shocked at how spicy I thought this book was.
Yeah. I don't think that 2.5 or 3, 2.5 to 3 stars feels fair.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know she was in there moaning on the
Girl,
audiobook.
the, and, like, saying the F word in, like, a sexual kind of way. Like, actually,
This is one thing that I will say about Callie Hart writing a sex scene is like when they say fuck, she puts an exclamation point. Like they're in it. They mean it. It's not like it's yeah. Like they're screaming.
yeah, and it was acted out. Those narrators were putting on a show for the listeners. So
Wow. I'm
I
so
don't
happy
know.
for them.
I don't know. Maybe it was just like a difference in perspective because I can honestly see myself not feeling that way if it wasn't actually like narrated to me. My cheeks were red in my own kitchen in
Yeah.
my own home, like just because my husband was upstairs literally still asleep in the morning. It was it was like so uncomfy. And then like I was wrapping gifts last night listening and I was like, if he walks in the door right now, like I will turn this off
Mortified.
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really funny. I didn't even think about the fact that you're listening out loud with no headphones. That's diabolical, but good for
I
you.
know. I know. Well, most of the time my husband is not in the same room and if he is and it's not a spicy scene, I don't care for him to hear, but like, oh my God. I was so embarrassed.
Well, I'm glad that we're in agreement
Yeah.
there. Like, I can't believe that other people had different experiences, but we're just, again, like, we're just two dumb bitches fighting over a brain
Exactly.
cell. Please don't take this with, to heart.
Yeah, no,
Um,
100%. And also, like Ashlyn said, we both consumed half the book literally yesterday.
yesterday.
So
So
it is what it is.
it is what it is. Katie, do you want to tell everybody what they can expect for next month here at the club?
Yes. Okay. So next month we are switching things up quite a bit. So there was like a little bit of discussion on our end. Should we not? And ultimately, we have decided that being relevant is really important to us. So that said, next month, or for the month of January, we will be reading Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reed. If you are unfamiliar, I was, as of like a week ago, that this book even existed. But it is male, so no females involved. If that is not to your comfort level, please know that going in, that this is going to be different. It'll be first time for me. Ashlyn, I think you've said that you've read something with like a small amount of male spice before.
Yeah. Zodiac Academy, and it comes out of nowhere. So it's not fully male. There's, you get both, but
okay.
But this has been my first like truly male romance. It's big in the zeitgeist right now because there's a show. Is it on Amazon Prime or Netflix?
I have no idea. Like, when I tell you, I was sitting here twiddling my thumbs, and this entire, like, this book's existence fell into my lap from the sky out of nowhere. I had no idea this existed. I had no idea there was a TV show. All of a sudden, I find out it's a book, it's a show. People are obsessed with it, and we just need to see what everyone's talking about. Especially because I want to watch the show, and now I just have like this moral superiority about not wanting to consume like something on a screen before I have read the book. So
I agree.
That's how we got
it's actually
here.
on HBO.
That makes sense.
You guys can watch it on HBO Max. It's apparently extremely spicy.
Yeah.
And it's been everyone's been talking about.
Yeah.
Gay and hetero alike have been watching, raving about it. So far be it from us to ignore something that's popular.
100%.
For better or for worse.
100%. But just please take those disclaimers into consideration. It is male. It is apparently extremely spicy. So if that is not up your alley, I get it. This is going to be my first time, like, knowingly stepping into something like this. But I'm excited because apparently it is like has the girls kicking their feet. So I'm really excited to see what it's all about, and then to obviously be able to watch the show after the fact. I think it's dropping, what's it called when they drop it like episodically. So I don't think like the entire season is out yet. So hopefully by the time we read it, we record, and the episode comes out, most of the TV episodes will be out as well.
Yeah. And I don't think the book is, at least of yet, part of a series. But whenever I just looked up where I can watch it, it sounds like HBO has given the green light for a season 2. So this might not be the end of the rope for these. It's hockey. Did we say that? It's hockey?
Oh, no, we didn't say that, but yeah.
So it's kind of like a lot of things overlapping at once. So it's going to be my first hockey because, well, my second kind of, but like I did not make it through Icebreaker.
Right.
So my first cover to cover hockey and my first male romance. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, we will see. And I certainly will not be listening to this one on audiobook, because if my husband hears that, my Kindle will be taken away. My phone will be taken away. And so, yeah, I'll be reading this one physically. Okay. Was there anything else before we wrap it up for the month of December?
No, I think I've said all I needed to say. Thank you guys so much for listening to the club. We are a book club podcast available on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. Please feel free to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. That's where we're trying to like really build up a lot of our followers. But thank you guys so much for listening to us. We got to listen to see our Spotify Wrapped this year, and that was really fun to see where everyone's coming from and what all your favorite episodes were. Please share with your friends. Let us know what books you want us to read in the spring. Love to be in on what everyone's reading, and so we can, stay relevant, keep doing our podcast, keep doing our thing. We love you guys so much. We will see you next month.
We will see you next year, you guys. That's really crazy. All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.